Yeah, we're talking about a party. Leigh Baldwin's in here. Leigh Baldwin, dollarinvestmentclub.com. What are you doing? Throwing a party for the clients?
For my reps and for clients, and so it's
very nice. It pays off. See, Cody and I, we both use Dollar Investment Club.
Mm-hmm.
We know what's going on. We got portfolios and stuff.
Right, I know what's up.
It's nice to do Christmas parties again. Like kind of that faded off last year, obviously.
It did,
and so
and
that was a big thing. A Wall Street thing was a big thing, like back years ago. So we'll try to do it in our own way here, you know. So
have a nice one.
You know.
So I'm sure you've received that invite if you are a client of Leigh Baldwin and dollarinvestmentclub.com. You sign up, you pay a bill to yourself. What's happening in the markets, Leigh?
Well, we've got 2 weeks left, so we're looking at So I'm kind of looking at things, in the past and looking forward. So my diamond for the year, and full disclosure, club members own it, is Google. We had a great year this year, up 68% so far. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Which is a big move for a company that's worth almost $2 trillion.
Yeah, I don't know how you keep having value, like you keep growing.
Right.
Eventually that has to stop.
You would think, but Apple now is bumping again's $3 trillion, up 30% this year. It's incredible.
The planet at some point.
Right.
Like, what more do you want?
Right. And so it's, the buzzword is the meta and this whole, this next phase. But this stat, and I read this yesterday, Google owns YouTube.
Yeah.
Every minute, 500 hours of video are being uploaded around the world. Like, that's incredible amount of information. So we're in this information is what...
I was listening to a podcast last night about the guys who invented the technology that Google Maps uses.
Right.
So they invented the satellites that go up into space and take high-def photos down.
It's incredible.
It's incredible because it was one of those stories where it was like, if you want to open a bakery, you probably need like $100,000 or whatever. If you want to invent a satellite, like they needed $20 million in capital, which is a lot of capital to start a business. Right. But they did it, and then Google gets on board and all this stuff. But they were still saying how even though they've got something like 450 satellites in the air, they're still not profitable yet, but they will be. And that's just such an astronomical amount of money that you're like, all right, we're going to put up like $200 million. But then we're going to be profitable down the road, guys.
Right. It's a leap of faith, and but it pays off when it hits big. So so there's a gold rush really about information, and that's so when I'm looking for ideas for 2022 and beyond, it is a lot about in the 70s it was all about oil, in the 80s it was about commercial real estate, think Don Trump or the mall developers.
Yeah.
90s was all about tech and the internet. 2021, 2022, what are we looking at? And it's an information, and so the companies that lead in that have been very well rewarded. Like Facebook and Google, Apple, down the line. So
that's all.
NVIDIA, So
well, NVIDIA had their year because everybody's working from home and they wanted to buy a video card. So NVIDIA had like $400 just to get a video card from NVIDIA.
So they have the best video card, or that's what they're kind of hanging their hat on. So it's come down a little bit, but that's been the stock of the decade, really. NVIDIA.
Yeah.
So
and this great resignation still continues. I just saw that Texas had like its biggest resignation month ever. Just this past month, that people are quitting their jobs.
Well, and Uber had its biggest week ever this past week. Is there a correlation? Like it's just funny. I was traveling last week, and my Uber driver had been working in hospitality for 13 years, just couldn't take it anymore. Yeah. And I was driving a car, and so who are these people resigning to do what? And where are they ending up? Right. It's very interesting to me. Another guy made so much money in Bitcoin, was just surfing in Nicaragua.
Yeah, so that's how you do it.
Yeah, so it's...
Well, I think a lot of people, there's all these people, nobody wants to work anymore. Nobody wants to go to their jobs. If we've learned anything, nobody wants to work with dicks. We don't want to go to a job. We don't want to go to a job where someone's going to be an a-hole to us. We don't want to do that anymore.
It's fair, right?
So why don't I got any servers at my restaurant? Because you're a piece of trash when you go to a restaurant. Nobody wants to work and serve you. Same with hospitality. Why can't I berate people at their job anymore? They don't want to do that anymore. Right. So they're finding other ways to work.
So try to find the good that comes out of all this craziness, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Find where the world adapts to. there's all these companies that are going full remote. There's obviously that's going to continue. That trend's going to continue as we see kind of, I don't know, like I always wonder when I think of a place like a Manhattan or a San Francisco or Los Angeles, do you start to see the opposite happen where like the cities start to shrink as people go remote and move out, and those big pockets of millions of people get spread out further and further.
And you would have thought that, but I think rents and values in New York City are back to where they were pre-pandemic.
They are. They are.
So maybe so we'll try to figure that out for everyone
People
for
still wanna live
2022 and beyond. So.
All right, Lee. Well, have a great have a great week. We'll see you next week.
You got
We're
it.
here. You
All
stop
right,
on
you guys
in.
are here. I'll be here then. Thanks, guys.
DollarInvestmentClub.com. You sign up. You pay a monthly bill to yourself. Lee takes care of the rest, and you can make some money and maybe even get invited to a party from time to time.
Yeah.